Hello friends, welcome back to Willie's Wheels. It's episode 2 of the van build series, where we are taking my 2009 panel van and transforming it into my ultimate production/day camper van for the family. This is where it gets pretty techie. Now, in this episode, it's a very special one because we're using some special effects to travel back in time together to a time where I had much less hair on my head and my face, and also way less tattoos, which is quite strange to watch. Now this is because today I'm going to show you how I fit my Android Auto / Apple CarPlay into the van, and I did this quite a few months ago. Now this involved me cutting into the wiring loom of the van behind the fuse box, which was super scary, so stick around to find out how that went. So we're going to travel back in time together by the power of cinema and meet younger self, and then I'll meet you back at the end to wrap things up. See you soon. We're going to transform the van from this
to this, a fully functioning Android Auto / Apple CarPlay powerhouse.
I really hope that works, because otherwise this whole video is pointless. We just had delivered a Atoto A6, which is a 9-inch Android Auto CarPlay system, which should slip right in. So we'll see how it goes. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step. So use this as a tutorial, and I'm also going to let you know what I think at the end. So hopefully you would have seen it fit and finished, which means we were successful. If not, thanks for watching. So if you've got a T5 like me, you probably don't have aircon, and you definitely don't have Bluetooth. You've just got this like CD player, which does the job. Up until now, I've been running phone here with this little Bluetooth jobby FM transmitter, just like the olden days. I had this when I first started driving way back in 2009, and yeah, it's fine, but the quality does suck and suffers, especially on longer journeys when you're moving around to new places. The FM station that you pick often has interference, and it's just a bit trash. So we're going to massively level up the game, especially for when we go camping this summer, which apparently is now, but yeah, I want something that maybe we can watch movies on if it's raining, 3 of us here in the front. So let's unbox it. All right, I'm gonna do my best to do this one-handed, see how we go. So I went for the A6, the 9-inch, because I thought if you're going to do it, you might as well go big. And also it has options for reversing camera that they sell as well. So what I'm going to do is later down the line, when I make some more changes to the van in the back, I'm going to fit a reversing camera. For now, this is just the head unit, and yeah, it's cool. This is the double din, so it actually is bigger than a double din. All very simple, very slim. That's amazing. I went for the one with the haptic, captive, whatever, touch buttons. We'll see how that works. It's all working. Well, it's good.
So there's a whole bunch of cables and adapters depending on your vehicle and the accessories you've got. So I won't go into each one here. For a full rundown of what's included in the kit, check the link in the video description.
Rough plan of attack is to get this one out. I'm going to clear the decks here, and then we're also going to find the gap in the back here for USB. So I'll have a USB coming out of here.
So the first step is to remove the old head unit, which is super easy to do. Make sure you buy the right tools before you start.
I got these keys on Amazon. They were like £5, and these are used to remove the head unit. So it feels like they click in, and then you can give them a good pull. Moment of truth. Woohoo! Look at that. Beauty. If everything else goes that smoothly, we'll be done by dinner. Take a photo of this just in case. It's always handy to know where things are coming from. All right, connector on the back comes out like this, and that's that gone. Goodbye 2009. Hello 2024. All right, let's offer this up and just see. So we can get it to sit nice and high there. That's pretty seamless, isn't it? Look at that, that looks cracking. Okay, disassembly continues. To take this top tray out, it's just clipped in. Get your fingers under there. Bosh. All gone. Over in the glove box, you don't have to remove the glove box to run a cable. I've just removed this plastic piece of trim from here, and if you put your finger in, you can feel, then put your hand under the dash, I can touch my fingers behind there, which is quite weird. So I'm just gonna run USB into the glove box for now. If I want to charge my phone, I'll chuck it in there.
There's a few USB cables in the box, and I went for the one that was marked phone link.
So we'll run that through the back. Time for a bit of a wiggle. That's number one through. I'm also going to run the video one. I'm going to leave it plugged in the back because we're going to add in a video camera later. So for the reverse, I'll plug that in, but I'll leave it unplugged for now. All right, boom, it's a new day. It's actually 3 days later, and it's sunny and warm, so I'm gonna be sweating. I have bought a harness adapter from Halfords.
The harness adapter adapts the older style VW connector on the main wiring loom to a universal ISO connector. This means installation is easy. Halfords stock lots of other adapters for other brands, so make sure you check online for your specific model. My van is pre-CAN bus, but I know that things change quite differently if your vehicle has CAN bus.
I'm just going to plumb it all up. And we're going to pray that it works. You got two options here, A and B. And then the only thing different is the location of the yellow and red wires. So on A, got yellow bottom right, red top. You see that? Yellow's there, red's there. And on B, yellow's there and red is there. And on the ISO connector that I've got, looks like yellow is top left, red is bottom right. So that corresponds with that. So I'm gonna do that. Bosh and this one. Okay, we're already much further than before. I'm gonna plug this in. I'm just gonna see what happens. I wanna plug it in. See what happens. Ready? I'm not. Let's see what happens. Okay, nothing. All right. More investigation is required.
If only it was that simple. The two wires, the orange and red, which were dangling from the adapter, proved to be very important. These supply power to the unit when the ignition is on, so it turns on and off with the key, making sure it doesn't drain your battery when you leave the vehicle, and the orange wire detects when your lights are on, either the side lights or the main lights, to automatically dim the screen at night and illuminate the buttons, which you can change the colour of, which is quite cool. So for my van, that meant finding the wires that fed power from the ignition and side lights, and those were down below the console in the main fuse boxes. Things were about to get more involved than I had expected. In order to access the wiring behind the fuse boxes, you need to slide them out of the area that's below the glove box on the passenger side. So this means you need to remove the lower trim on the passenger side. There are Torx connectors in the door jamb, behind the lug net mounts, and below the trim. Once they are all undone, you can remove and slide out the fuse boxes to the left into the footwell and access the wiring.
We can undo these, bottom one first.
If this all sounds far too scary, don't worry. Just take your time and don't cut anything until you have double checked everything. If I can do it, a complete novice and general buffoon, you can too.
Yes! Here it is. The fuse box and the wires. So what we'll do is find the right wire in here and for the fuse, pull it, join the cables together, and we should be laughing. So we're looking for 19. Can get this out. That's 19 there. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe it's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The first thing I did was locate the right wire and check with the multimeter that we got 12 volts when the ignition was on, and the same for the illumination wire. This means you're definitely cutting the right wires, and it's generally a really good practice to do when you're doing any wiring. Double check with the multimeter, just in case the diagram or the manual is wrong.
That's our cable. First thing I've got to do is run the cable down here.
And with a lot of wiggling, I ran the 2 wires down the side of the glove box surround and down to the fuse box area. This would be so much easier if I had small hands.
I'm going to start on switch illumination, because this one's actually a little bit easier to access. Here we go. Bosh. Scary.
I spliced and wired in the 2 wires I needed, and while everything was still out, I did a first turn of the key to test. I prayed I didn't set fire to the van. We turned the key, and it worked.
Actually works. It's working.
Plugging in my phone via the USB and using the connection app worked first time. And I'm so happy at this point as the stress of cutting into the loom is slowly leaving my body.
Blue. Look at that. That's amazing. Wicked. Amazing. All right. Cool. Well, it flipping works. I'm going to refit the fuse box and then check it, because those cables are pretty tight. And then, yeah, we'll fit it.
So it's time to remember where all those screws went and button everything up.
We're almost there. I can't believe it.
When it came time to fit the whole unit and tidy everything up for the last time, I really struggled with this part, as the screen itself is too big to remove the fascia, so you can't mount the mounting points with the fascia off, put the screen in, and then put the fascia back on, if that makes sense. I think with the smaller screen, this would have been much easier. You can fit the mounting points, put the screen in, and then put the fascia over the top. So we compromised, and I ended up reversing the metal mounts around, and I actually bent them out so they brace against the dash. So effectively it's wedged in.
There we go.
Yeah, and it's solid.
That works. So on the inside, bent the things in. And it's pressing against the sides now. Solid. Alright, so excuse my fingerprints. Keys going in. And that, my friends, is the end of that. We did it, and you'll be pleased to know 6 months later, it's still working flawlessly, no issues whatsoever. It connects wirelessly every time I turn the ignition on, and I think it's actually improved the sound quality in the van as well. If you've enjoyed watching my amateur electricianism, then please hit like. Let me know if you've done a similar job in your transporter in the comments, or if you've got any other tips that might help people looking for a tutorial or how-tos. Let me know in the comments below. By no means perfect, I'm just documenting me trying my best, but I'm sure you'll agree it's an amazing transformation and really brings the van up to date. So on to the rest of the build. Things are getting real in the next episode. We are going to tackle the interior of the van. We're going to start shredding it out, carpeting, insulating, doing a lot of changes to the inside of the van, and then in a further episode we're going to look at the outside. It's going to be amazing, honestly. The van is coming along so well, and it's turning into my absolute dream machine. So subscribe if you're not, follow along. I've got another video coming out very soon. In the meantime, wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.